Hi, this is Dr. Hoff. Today I want to discuss with you the very important topic of mental performance and clarity. As with all of our other performance begins with recovery and caring for yourself. You cannot perform at your best, be it mentally, physically, sexually, if you have not cared for yourself and recovered appropriately. I urge you to please refer to the module on sleep and how to optimize your sleep. I can guarantee you that your mental performance will suffer if you're not prioritizing your sleep. The other things that you can do to improve your mental performance are things such as meditation, taking some time. If you have an event that you're going to prepare for in which you have to perform at your best, it's if you can at all fit it into your schedule right before that event. Do not spend time on your phone. Do not spend time on your email. Try to have a few quiet minutes where you focus yourself, slow down your breathing, bring yourself back into your body, and concentrate just a little bit on what you're about to do. You don't have to rehearse it. In fact, the studies will show that rehearsing something immediately before performing, going over it too much can actually impair your performance. But this is a time for you to get distraction free, to get centered, and to get ready to perform. And that's the truth of physical activity, such as the gym, too, but especially true with mental performance. The other thing that's very important for mental performance is adequate nutrition. We often correlate adequate nutrition with how we look physically or how we feel physically, but do not underestimate the importance of adequate nutrition when it comes to mental performance. And that does mean the proper ratio of carbohydrates, fats, and protein, which we will discuss further in the nutrition portion of this program. But I do want to take a moment to discuss the importance of essential fatty acids. Now, I'm going to put a link to the essential fatty acids that I recommend. Study after study comes out showing their importance for your physical health, but we must remember that essential fatty acids are responsible for providing the coating on the nerve cells, if you will, that allow nerve cells to conduct and talk from one to the other. This is much like what goes around an electrical cord in your house, and if that insulation around that electrical cord is impaired or not at its best, then you're not going to have a conduction of that electricity as well as it could, if at all. And it's very similar to that with the nerve sheath that goes around our neurons that allows our neurons to speak from one to another. And an important element of keeping those healthy is your essential fatty acids. So I'm not a believer that you have to take hundreds of supplements in order to be a high performance man. But essential fatty acids is one that likely we all should be taking. The other thing is hydration. The brain hates dehydration. You will get headaches if you're dehydrated. You will get tired if you're dehydrated. And on a physical side, you'll tend to overeat if you're dehydrated. So I strongly urge you to make sure you're adequately hydrated, especially in times when we're demanding mental performance from ourselves. We tend to let our physical needs go by the wayside as we focus on whatever it is that we're about to mentally perform, if you will. The other thing is we tend to use a lot of caffeine in these situations. If I wake up and I need to go to work and I need to perform and I'm feeling sluggish, I tend to have more caffeine. If it's halfway through the day and I have a big meeting coming up and I'm feeling tired and sluggish, I tend to use caffeine. We have to remember that caffeine is going to tend to dehydrate you. So please, 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 especially in those times when you're consuming more caffeine, make sure you're taking water. As a rule for myself, when I wake up in the morning, I delay having my coffee until I've had a large amount of water. And then throughout the day, if I'm going to have any more caffeine, for every cup of coffee or other caffeinated beverage I'm going to have, I make sure that I start with a glass of water before I have that beverage to try and ensure adequate hydration. So we've talked about sleep with your mental performance. We've talked about nutrition. We've talked about hydration. And the other thing that I want to talk about is your physical health. You are a multifactorial being, if you will. We have a mental side, a spiritual side, and a physical side. And in order for any one of those elements to perform at its best, we have to care for the other elements. We know that if we're physically in better health, if we're taking care of ourselves physically, we will perform better mentally. This is indisputable fact. So If you're demanding a lot of yourself mentally, make sure that you're giving your physical body the treatment that it needs, both in recovery and in exercise. You will perform better if your aerobic capacity is up. You will perform better if you're working out regularly. So if you're at a period, a stretch at work, a stretch in your business or other areas of life where you're demanding a lot of yourself mentally, do not put the physical on the back burner. You may have to adjust that depending upon the demands in your life, but do not eliminate it. Don't put it on the back burner. Um, Other things that you can do for your mental performance is be over prepared. And this sounds simple, but if you need to know material, know it backwards and frontwards to the best of your abilities. You will feel much better. Your mind, your presentation, your performance will flow much more smoothly. And practice. This is the same as any athlete would do before going on the practice field. There's no professional athlete who hasn't spent the week ahead of the game practicing. And if you have something on your schedule where you must perform at your best, watch your sleep, watch your nutrition, get adequate hydration, take care of your body, and practice. Practice mentally, go through the motions of whatever it is that you're going to do to present yourself mentally at your best. And if you combine all of these elements, you will see time after time your mental performance improve. And as that happens, the one other element we haven't discussed is your confidence. There is no better fuel for top mental performance than confidence. I appreciate you taking time to listen to this video. Please follow along in other videos to come. Thank you very much for your time.